sending someone or sending families on exile. This is one of the major problems we are facing in Nigeria. Let me use Nigeria since I'm in Nigeria. This is one of the major problems we are facing. But before I start this teaching, please, this teaching is mainly for men, because they are the ones that can do this. Whatever I'm going to teach, they are the ones that can do this. I'm talking about men who are well advanced in age, men who can now make decisions in families, men who can now lay down rules and regulations to be followed in families, men who can take care of their family. They are the ones I am going to teach tonight. If you are a boy here tonight, this teaching is not for you, so I will advise you to leave. If you are a woman who is well advanced in age, but you feel like joining us so that you will listen to what I have to teach tonight, there is no problem. If you know that you are in a haste and you want me to go straight to the point, leave now. This teaching is not for you. Leave, because I'm not going to go straight to the point. If you know that you are a man, even if you are well advanced in age, but you don't like our customs and traditions, you don't like African customs and traditions, leave. This teaching is not for you. If you are a girl and you are here, leave. This teaching is not for you. Chinonyaremeza, my prophet, thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. God bless you so much. So I'm going to talk to our men tonight. I'm going to talk to our men, those who are well advanced in age, those who love and practice our customs and traditions, those who know what customs and traditions are. They are the ones that I'm going to be talking to tonight. So this teaching is not for girls. This teaching is not for anybody who doesn't know anything about custom and tradition. This teaching is not for anybody who is so much in a haste to join another page. Please, you can join another page, okay? Just leave now so that I don't waste your data, because I understand that data is the problem. A lot of people don't want to waste their data. They just want you to hit the nail on the head. Like I said some time ago, I will not just go straight to the point. I am going to touch so many things that has to do with that topic before I arrive at where I want to arrive. So if you are a man, you have a family, you are taking care of your family, you have people who are looking up to you. If you want to listen. This teaching is for you. If you are someone who is called by God, you have a spiritual gift, but there are things that you cannot do because we don't know everything. For the fact that you are called doesn't mean that you are supposed to know everything. No, we don't know everything. We are all here to learn. We learn from each other, okay? You learn from me and I learn from you. The only thing that will make all those things work are the powers that God has given us. So if you are spiritually gifted and you want to learn this that I'm going to teach us tonight, you can stay. The reason why I am pointing out all these things, I don't like people coming up to tell me, please go straight to the point. If you want to tell me to go straight to the point, leave. And even if you write it, I'm going to block you. I'm saying it that this message is not for everybody at all. It is not for young girls. It is not for young boys. It is for those who are called. It is for men. When I mean men who has responsibilities on their shoulders, and men who are well grounded in customs and traditions. And if you want to listen to this teaching, you are highly welcome. You are welcome. So I'm going to be teaching us about sending someone on exile. So many people are on exile without knowing that they are on exile. When I mean being on exile, I don't mean you packing your luggages and traveling to the desert to stay. No. When you are sent on exile, you will no longer have anything to do with your family members. You will no longer have anything to do with them. So many people are even in Nigeria, but they are on exile. Someone will be living in Lagos or staying in Abuja or staying in Port Harcourt, but the last time you came back home to see your siblings, to see your parents, to see your family members might be 3 years ago. You have never come back since 3 years ago. Some of them doesn't even communicate with their family members. You don't communicate. You don't send any help home. A lot of people, how worse their own is that even when they get the news that their parents are sick or that their parents are dying and their presence is needed, they will never come back. They will not send any message. They will do nothing. We have a lot of siblings who are like this. We have a lot of siblings amongst us who are like this, and we believe that they are just naturally wicked, that they don't want to help. They don't want to associate with us. They don't want to come back to see their parents. They don't even know what they are doing. They don't know what is happening to them. They are not doing it out of their own making. It is not their fault. They have been sent on exile by the enemy. Yes, they have been sent on exile by the enemy, probably to punish the parents or to punish that person, himself or herself. So when you have someone like that in your family, someone who doesn't communicate, even when you take out your money to recharge your phone and you call your sibling to ask for money, to ask for help, even if it's not money, but just to ask for help, your sibling will have it, but will not want to give you and will not even give you. It's not as if that they will not give you that money immediately, but even if you ask them from the first month, January to December, they will still not give you that money. They will keep on giving you excuses from one excuse to another. The next thing, they will stop picking your calls. Or you call them to tell them that their parents wants to see them, wants them to come back home. Their parents are sick. They need money for medication. They will not come back home. They will not send that money for medication. They will not even call. They are on exile. It is not something that can be done to just one particular person. A lot of families as a whole has been sent on exile. You will see a family living in the township, but for the past 10 years, they have never touched their village. They have never touched their fatherland. They don't communicate with anybody at all. They believe that that township is okay for them. That the township is okay for them. They don't want any village life. They don't want any village people. They don't want anything of such. They are not doing it with their senses. They are sent on exile by the enemy. Now, what I'm teaching us is not what you are going to do to that enemy. No, overlook that enemy for now. Overlook the enemy for now. What I'm going to teach us is what you would do to bring back that your sibling back home. But remember, I'm still saying it. This teaching, if you are a girl, is not for you. If you are a boy, it's not for you. So quietly leave this page. If you are a man or a woman who doesn't believe in customs and traditions, quietly leave this page. It's not for you. If you are a man or a woman who is so much in a haste to join another page, quietly leave this page. It's not for you. If you are a man who believes in our customs and traditions, please pay attention, because this teaching is mainly for men. They are the ones that can practice this. Another set of people that can practice this, whether you're a man or a woman, are those who are spiritually called. Those who have the power to do whatever they're going to do, the spiritual exercise, and then it will work. So what is it that you're going to do when you notice this going on in your family and you have done everything possible to bring back your own home, to bring the person closer to you people, to unite as one family, and it's not working? Please, I want you to go and get this for me. Just go and get it. This is what you will get. This is kola nut. This is Oji Igbo. The Igbos, this is the type of kola nut we use. We don't use the yellowish kola nut. We don't use that whenever we have any spiritual exercise or whenever we have any occasion traditionally. This is the kola nuts we use. When the Igbos are breaking kola nuts amongst siblings, amongst brothers, amongst community, this is the kola nut we are using, Oji Igbo. I want you to go and get this Oji Igbo for me. For those who will practice this is what you're going to do. You get this Oji Igbo. When you get this is what you are supposed to do in the morning. You are going to perform this spiritual exercise in the morning, and it's not something that you have to be in a haste. Let me rush and do this thing and then I will go to work and go. No, you can do it on a weekend when you are not going out. You can do this on a weekend. So get this kola nut, and in the morning, maybe on that Saturday morning or depending on the day you want to do it, you will go outside. It is something that you will have to perform outside, not inside your house. Because I've seen so many questions. People will tell me, I can't do this outside. My neighbors will see me. And what do you want me to do? If your neighbors will see you, what do you want me to do? To blindfold your neighbors? You are not serious. That means you don't even want to do that in the first place. When you are seeking the opinion of others, when you are looking at people's faces. Meanwhile, when they want to harm you, they will do it outside. And you will see it and you will know that they are performing something to harm you. And you can't even do anything. When it comes to your own turn for you to do something in order to save situations, you notice that your neighbors are looking at you. If you know that you can't do this outside, performing it inside the house, it will not work. You need nature. You need nature for this thing to work. So this is what you have to do outside your house. So you have to go outside with this kola nut. And you must pray. And I always say this. There is nothing you will do on earth that can work for you without prayer. I mentioned something like this before. A lot of us believe that through our hard work, we will make it in life. Yes, you are working hard, but someone else is behind whose knees is on the ground for your sake, praying. That God is listening to that prayer and performing that work. An overcomer, I'm not a native doctor, and if you are here to ask me if I'm a native doctor, I will block you. I am not a native doctor. I'm a spiritualist. And this is a teaching I received from God. And if it can help human beings, I don't see the reason why you should come up here to ask me if I'm a native doctor. Are the native doctors the only people whom God has given the authority to use kola nut? Are they the only people? If you are an Igbo man, don't you use kola nut in your house? Don't you, when you attend occasions, haven't you seen where people break kola nuts? Why ask this question? This is the reason why I mentioned that if you are here to ask me any question that I don't like, I will block you. I said that you should leave early. But if you don't want to leave, I'm going to block you. Because this teaching is for people. This teaching is for people who are passing through this problem. We have so many men of God, so many women of God who cannot help them to bring back their loved ones. Their loved ones are on exile for so many years that they can't even tell if their loved ones are dead or alive. They can't even tell. This teaching is to help them. The native doctors are not the only people who has the authority to use kola nut. If you are called, if you are spiritually gifted, you have that authority. If you are a man in your home who is taking care of family, who has responsibilities on his shoulders, you have the authority to use kola nut. So please, for the ones that I'm talking to, I want you to pay attention. When you get this kola nut, please, you have to go outside your house with this kola nut. You can do it with your family members, assuming that they are around, okay? You are going to pray with this kola nut. You have to raise this kola nut up. You are presenting this kola nut to God. Yes, because in Igbo land, when we have visitors, we present kola nut to those visitors, all right? And then the visitor will now ask the owner of the house to bless the kola nut and break it so that everybody will eat. It is the same thing as you presenting this kola nut to God in prayer. You tell God that which you want to do. Tell him that which your family is passing through. Mention the name of that person on whom you want to perform this spiritual exercise. If it's your brother or your sister who was sent on exile and has never ever communicated with you people, you don't know about his or her whereabouts, you don't know anything that is happening to the person, you don't even know if he or she is still alive. So you are going to mention the name of that person and you tell God everything, don't hide anything. And then you ask God to bless this kola nut for you, because you cannot bless the kola nut when you are talking to God. It is God that will bless the kola nut for you. And so after that prayer, the next thing you are supposed to do is to break the kola nut. You divide it. I'm not going to divide this one. Okay, I just brought it to teach you people. And then you divide it. You will get like 4 pieces or 5 pieces. I've never seen any one that is 3. It is either 4 or 5. And in Igbo land, when it's 4 pieces, we believe that it represents the 4 market days in Igbo land. That is the Eke, the Ori, the Afo, the Nkwo. But this time around, as you break the kola nut, you are going to make use of the 4 forces of nature to perform this spiritual exercise. After breaking that kola nut, you are going to invite the 4 forces of nature. I believe you all know what they are. They are the fire, the water, the land, the air, the 4 forces of nature. Everything created by God needs these 4 forces of nature to perform, to survive, to live. We all need them. If you are a human being, if you are a plant, grasses, flowers, we are all on the land. We are all on the land. We are still standing. We are still standing. Whatever we eat is gotten from the land. And so land is one of the 4 forces of nature. If you are alive, you are breathing in air. You are breathing in air. All the animals, all the trees, all the plants, we all need air to survive. Air is one of the 4 forces of nature. If you are alive, you are making use of water to bathe, to cook, to wash. All the sea creatures need water to survive. We as human beings and even plants, we need water to survive. Water is one of the 4 elements of nature. If you are alive, you need fire. Fire for you to see. It gives you light. You need fire to keep yourself warm. You need fire to destroy so many things that you want that fire to destroy. And so fire is one of the 4 elements of nature. Somebody said, can an elderly woman perform this exercise? Is there no elderly man around? Is there no elderly man around in your village or in your family? Is there no elderly man around? I would prefer an elderly man who is a member of that family to do this, unless there is no man around and that elderly woman is gifted spiritually. Then the elderly woman can do it. If she is gifted spiritually, if she has spiritual gifts, if she is called, then she can do it where there is no man around. But if there is any man around, let that man perform this. That is why I said earlier that this teaching is mainly for men. They are the ones that have the authority to do that. They are the ones that have the authority to do that. Okay? So, where do I stop? Okay, now I've talked about the 4 elements of nature and how we need these 4 elements of nature to survive. Now you are going to invite these 4 elements of nature, because after breaking of this kola nut, assuming you perform this exercise with your family members, you are going to remove some of these kola nuts, which you are going to throw away. And when you throw it away, you will mention that that kola nut is your gift to the 4 forces of nature. You have given them their own gift, their own share, because you are expecting them to perform this exercise for you. Now, for the remaining kola nuts, you divide it amongst your family members who are there with you, and they can take and eat for those who want to eat. But whereby you are doing it alone, all what you need to do is to bring out one for yourself and throw the remaining ones away. Now, after this, the next thing you are going to do is you have to pick a handful of sand. a handful of sand. When you pick a handful of sand, you call on that your sibling, on that person, on that man or on that woman. You mention the name 7 times, and then you command that sand. The sand represents the land, wherever that person is. You command that sand to move into action, to go to wherever the person is. If the person is staying outside the country and you know the country where the person is staying, you mention the name of that country. If the person is in Nigeria and you know the state where the person is staying, you mention the name of that state and you command that sand, that you are using that sand as a point of contact to reach the other land where your sibling is staying. You mention the land where he's staying and you command the sand to move into action. And remember, I always teach this, please. Whenever you are performing any spiritual exercise using nature, never you beg. It is not advisable to beg. Nature is naturally stubborn. Yes, all these things created by God are naturally stubborn. So when you beg, you are kind of belittling yourself. It might not work for you. They might not do that. So what you need to do is to use commanding words. You must command because you are created above them. You must command that sand, that you are commanding it in the name of God the Father, Son, and of the Holy Spirit, to move into action spiritually and fish out your sibling. You mentioned the name of that your sibling, wherever he or she is, and drag him or her home. You know what to say. You know everything that your family has passed through as a result of that person's absence. You know what your parents, assuming they're still alive, have passed through. You know how your family still needs that person. You still want the person to come back home. You know what to say. These are the things you will mention to that sand. And when you are done with that prayer, drop that sand exactly the same spot where you got it. I'm telling you from personal experience. I'm not telling you from what others did or what others said or what others taught their own people. I am telling you from what I have done. I did it because I have that power to do it, because I am called. And the result is just like a wildfire. The first one was just under 1 week, the person came back. The second one was in 2 weeks, the person came back. So that is why I'm here to teach you. Because a lot of families are in anguish, in pain. Your own very person is well-to-do, is living well somewhere. You people are suffering. Whenever you put a call across to the person, he or she will not come back. Whenever no matter what you say, he or she will not come back. No matter what you do, the person will still not come back. You have prayed from Jerusalem to Jericho. The person is still not coming back. It is not the person's doing. This person is under a diabolical spell. The person is under a spell. But this time around, like I said, we are not talking about who casted that spell on that person. We are talking about bringing your loved one back. You need that person back. So you have to destroy that spell that was casted on that person. And you destroy that spell using nature. There is power in nature. And the powers in nature are deposited into them by God. God created everything and left his powers into them. But we human beings, we are so ignorant of the happenings around us that we believe that nature is just there. We are just seeing the trees. We are just seeing the land. And we are just breathing in air. And that's it. No, they perform greater works more than what we are seeing with our natural eyes. But you will only have to activate your inner spirit for you to understand everything about nature and how powerful nature is. Okay? So this thing is not even what you have to go and meet anybody to perform for you. If you are a man in the house, that is why I mentioned that this teaching is for men. It is not for boys. It is not for girls. It is not for women, unless you have that power as a woman. It is for men who are in line with customs and traditions, men who regard our customs and traditions, not all these generation men now who doesn't believe in anything custom and tradition. What we believe in is in the white man's tradition. That is what we believe in. Okay? So I am talking to men who are men, if you know that you are a man and that you are well recognized as a man, you are the one that will practice this. You have the power to do this. You represent God in your home. So you have the power to bring back that your sibling or even that your child who has gone on an exile. So many people, so many men and women who are here, I believe are well advanced in age, and you have children who are now living on their own. And maybe since last year you haven't seen them. They don't call you unless you call them. They don't send anything home. Despite you being aware that they are doing well, but they don't send anything home. You don't gain anything from your children at all. But they are living large wherever they are. And you are here suffering in anguish, hoping that one day things will get better. And it doesn't get better. So if you are a man, do this to bring back that your loved one. Do this to set your family free. Yes. Do this to set your family free. Free from pain and free from anguish. The mistake we make as Africans, let me not call Africans, let me not say Africans. The mistake we make as Nigerians is that there are things we have already believed that we don't have the power to do. That these things are set aside for the native doctors. These things are set aside for the priests. These things are, please, if you are called, if you know that you are called by God, you have the power to do whatever that God asks you to do. Whatsoever God said that you should do, He has already given you that power to do that. The native doctors are wiser than us. I want you to know it now. We believe that we are wiser because we are educated. No, we are blind spiritually. We are spiritually blind. The native doctors are more wise. They are wiser than us. That is why they got to notice on time that nature is powerful. And they started making use of nature way before us. And we grew with that mentality that it is only the native doctors that can make use of nature and everything will work for them. Going to school is totally different from having wisdom. Being educated is totally different from wisdom. Wisdom is natural. It comes from God. It's a natural gift. But the native doctors are more wiser. They have this wisdom way before us. Way before us. And then we have grown to believe that because they started making use of these things before us, it now belongs to them. That means whoever that God calls now and asks you to use that thing, no, you are not supposed to use it because it is the native doctors that are using it. Who told you? If it is the native doctors that are using it, why did God choose to reveal such things to the chosen ones, to the ones that He has called? Why is He still revealing it to us? And I want to ask you a question. And who told you that all native doctors are evil? Who told you that? Whenever we hear the name native doctor, we tag evil to them. Why? But we will go as far as consulting mediums in abroad. What are those mediums? Who are they? Clairvoyants, who are they? Because they are white men, we will consult them, believing that they are working in the name of God. Who told you? And then the ones closer to you, because they are called native doctors, you tag evil to their names. It is not all native doctors that are evil. All these things, all this evil we are tagging to certain names, you can equally see all those things in churches. We have so many men of God who are highly diabolical, who are so diabolical, who can do anything, just to get congregation. I'm not talking about winning souls for God. I'm talking about them getting enough congregation, because the more congregation you have, the more money you have. We have so many men of God who consult those devilish native doctors for powers, for them to perform miracles in churches. You will not see it. Yes, because you have already been blindfolded spiritually. You will not see it. When they come to the pulpit, they will mount and say in the name of Jesus, and you will respond, Amen. Which Jesus are they calling? I have said this thing before. Please, if you know that you are spiritually blind, the best thing for you to do is try and see how you can open your eyes spiritually. And the only way you can do it is by prayer. By prayer. Ask God to reveal things to you. Let God reveal the hidden treasures to you. It is only then that you will understand that everything created by God has powers in them according to how God has made it. I don't want to talk too much tonight because this teaching is not something I'm here to waste time on. I have said what I want to say. If you are a man in the house, I don't mean a boy. It's not something a boy of 20, 25 can do. It's not even something a boy of 30 can do. I am talking to men who are well advanced in age. As for the boy who is 20, 25, unless you know you are called, and there is no other elderly man in the house that can do this, then you can now do this. I am talking to men who have families, who are now head of families, who has responsibilities that weighs them down. But you look into your family and you notice that this thing is happening, and you have done everything possible to stop it, and it didn't work. You go with this. You go with this spiritual exercise. Like I say, this is something I have done, and I have seen the result. And it is because of the result that I decided to teach you people. It is because of the result that I've gotten so far that I decided to teach you people. If God doesn't want such a teaching, if God is not in supportive of this teaching, he wouldn't have revealed it to me. I don't see how bringing my loved one back who was sent on an exile by an enemy, I don't see how bringing the person back home is evil by mere using of this. And sand, something that God, who amongst us here doesn't know what kola nut is? If the wise can say that they don't know it, who in Africa can say that he or she doesn't know what kola nut is? Is this a deity? Is this a God? No. This is something that God created. This is something you and I chew every now and then. Who amongst us doesn't know what sand is? We always pray with sand. Every now and then, people will tell you, collect sand from the floor, collect sand from the floor. So now that you will collect sand from the floor to pray to bring back your loved one, is it now evil? I want to know. Before you make comments on spiritual issues, you have to be well grounded on spirituality. You don't make, childish comments. You don't make, I don't know how to put this. You don't just open your mouth and start talking on something you don't even know. You don't know about this at all. You have never heard about this at all. But you know that you have heard that someone who was lost was later found. The person came back on his own. Did you ask question? How did the person got back? Did you ask? No, you didn't ask question. So there is no point. What you don't know is way too bigger than you. The ones you don't understand, you ask questions. You ask a reasonable question. Not a question that looks like something that a child of primary school will ask. If a little child had asked me this question, I would say, okay, this is a little child. It's beyond his or her understanding. And I will go down very well to explain. Not when an adult comes up and asks such questions. Come on. Our powers, our gifts are given to us by God. The devil doesn't give any gift. I want you to know it now. There is no gift that the devil gives. All those people you see practicing evil, they already have that gift of God in them. But their gift was hijacked by the devil. And he turned them into following his footsteps. And that is why they practice evil. And let me tell you, if you are truly called by God, and you try and you start on your own, maybe to start practicing evil, the kind of punishment you will receive will be greater than the punishment of someone who killed somebody. Your punishment will be far greater than that of someone who killed somebody. God will forgive that murderer so easily than you. Before he forgives you, he will allow that punishment to befall you. And that is why those of us who are called, we are always so careful. So careful in our teaching, so careful in our practices. Somebody said, can you use it on your husband is not on exile. Your husband is just dating a side chick. He's just dating another person. He's not on exile. He's just that he has another woman beside him, but he is still your husband. We are talking about people who have forgotten their family entirely, doesn't have any business with the family, doesn't come back home, doesn't send anything, doesn't call, not that you haven't even seen the person in 2-3 years. These are the people that you perform this spiritual exercise on. Okay? These are the people that you perform the spiritual exercise on to bring them back. All right? That is all you need. This overcomer of a person, thank you for being an overcomer. Thank you so much. But I want you to take your overcomer to somewhere else, all right? Go there and bring back, help win souls. Help win souls, okay? Win souls for God. If we are working for God, you have to join in working for God. I want you to use your page because I know you have a page. Use your page and teach people how to follow Christ. I see you as a two-faced Christian. You are a two-faced Christian. You call yourself a Christian, but you keep on meandering in so many channels, trying to see where you can grab information. Tomorrow now you come up on your own channel to say that it is God that told you this. Meanwhile, it is something you learned from another channel. So I want you to use your page to teach people everything about Christ. Teach people how to follow Christ. Teach people how to work for God. You can do it. Since you are an overcomer, you can do it, okay? So like I said, I don't want to waste too much time. I have said what I want to say, but if you have any question, please, just go ahead and ask the question based on this teaching that I just gave now or on any other teaching. Good evening, girls. You are welcome. So if you have any other question, please go ahead and ask. I really don't want to waste much time because this teaching is simple, yes. Teaching it is so simple, but it is very powerful when you perform it. Girls, you can send me a message in my inbox, okay? Inbox me, okay? From there, we can now take it up. So go to my inbox, send me a message, and then we'll take it up from there. So if you have any question based on this teaching or any other teaching on spirituality, on spiritual issues, you go ahead and ask. And whereby there is no other question, I will have to end this live session. Okay? Please, like I said earlier, and I'm still repeating it, this teaching is for men. It is not for boys. It is not for girls. It is not for women, except women who are called, who has that power, that spiritual power, that spiritual gift. Then they can do this. But it is for men, but not for men. Not for this type of men that will attend a traditional wedding and they will say that because they are born again Christians, they will not take palm wine, that they will take Fanta. Meanwhile, if you trace back to the time of Jesus, there was nothing like soft drink that time. During the marriage that Jesus attended, it was a traditional marriage that he attended. And according to the Bible, the wine that they were taking got finished. The Bible didn't say the beer. The Bible didn't say the soft drink. Didn't say Fanta. It didn't say Sprite. The Bible said the wine. And the wine the Bible was referring to was a wine that is a natural wine, not all this refined and over-refined English wine we are now taking. It is a natural wine, and palm wine is a natural wine. So if you are this type of man who believes that in traditional marriage you are supposed to use Fanta instead of palm wine, I don't think you can do this because you are not in line with customs and traditions. I am talking to the real men. The real men know themselves. There are men and there are men. The real men know themselves. They are the ones that can do this, and it will work for them because you must command nature. You must command nature. You are created above nature. And so your powers are supposed to be above that of nature. You are not supposed to beg. You command. You use commanding words. So in the absence of any other question, I am going to stop this live session. Yes, I'm going to stop it since I am done with this teaching. But next time, I don't know when next. Maybe tonight Okay, girls, you said, can I recap on this? You came late. Yes, I know you came late. Okay, just let me just summarize it. Okay, girls, this teaching is for people who are sent on exile. That a lot of families are sent on exile by the enemy. A lot of men, a lot of women are on exile. On exile doesn't mean going to the desert, like I mentioned earlier. You can stay in Nigeria, but you are sent on exile. Your family stays in the east, but you stay in the north. And for 1 year, for 2 years, you haven't come back home. You don't even call. You don't send anything home. Even when they call you, you don't respond. Even when you respond and they tell you what is going on at home and I say that you need to come back home, you don't come back home. So many of them are sent on exile. It is not their own making at all. It is not their own making. It is the work of the enemy, the work of the devil, probably to punish that person or to punish the family so that they remain in anguish, in pain, and in sorrow. Now, the teaching for tonight is what you can do to bring back that person that was sent on an exile. What you have to do, because I know that a lot of families are passing through this. And so many families has been praying for 1 year, for 2 years, for 3 years, some even for 10 years. And for 10 good years, they haven't seen their loved one. Meanwhile, that loved one is still alive, is doing wonderfully well wherever he or she is, but doesn't come home, doesn't call, doesn't send anything. So the teaching is what you will do to bring the person back, and you are going to use this kola nut. In Igbo language, we call it Oji Igbo. It is this Oji Igbo that you will use. I don't know if there is any other type of kola nut for other tribes in Nigeria. I don't know. I'm just using this one for the Igbo. So this is what you are going to do. And this exercise is what you have to do outside your home. When you get this kola nut, you have to go outside where you can see nature. And then you present this kola nut to God. It's just like, in Igbo language, when somebody visits you, present a kola nut to the person. You present it to God and ask God to bless the kola nut for you. After that prayer, what you do is you invite the four forces of nature, the fire, the water, the land, the air. You invite them to bear witness to what you are doing. And then you divide the kola nut. When you divide it, if there are people around there with you who witness what you are doing, you divide some portions of that kola nut so that you and those people can eat. And then the remaining portions, you throw them away. And you tell the four forces of nature that you are giving them their portion as a gift. That you are giving them as a gift so that they will work for you, because they are the forces that you are going to use. And then you pick up a handful of sand and call the name of that your loved one 7 times. And then you start commanding that sand, that you are using that sand as a point of contact to reach the land wherever that person is staying. And then let that land where that person is staying release the person. Let the land release the person and bring the person back home. You say whatever you want to say, how you want everything to go. And after that prayer, drop that sand exactly where you got it from. And that is all you need. That is all. It is very simple when teaching it. It looks even simpler when you are practicing it. But I'm telling you, from the results I have seen so far, the results I have gotten so far from the ones that I performed it for, because those their loved ones are all back. So it is based on those results that I decided to teach us this. But it's not something anybody anyhow can do. You must be someone who is well advanced in age, a married man who has responsibilities on his shoulders, who has a family to take care of. You must be a man who is well grounded with our customs and traditions. Or you must be someone who is spiritually called. You have that spiritual gift, whether you are a man or a woman. These are the people that can perform this. It is not just for anybody. So any other question, or I will close for tonight because I'm done with this teaching. The only thing is that after this teaching, I'm going to download this video and then I will post it so that those who are not present can now listen to it and know what to do for those who are interested in it. Okay, so I'm going to stop here and I want to thank every one of you. Thank you, girls. Thank you so much. I want to thank you. Chinonyere Meze, thank you. God bless you. Alai, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. And to every other person who joined us tonight, thank you. For those who liked this video, thank you. Uzosel, thank you. For those who shared the video, thank you. God bless you so much as you are joining us whenever we come up live. And I pray that God will visit you and grant you all your heart desires that are pleasing unto him. In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Amen. Thank you so much and good night. God bless.